to first get clarity on the fate of the Abatembu Kings, Libanzi Buyele Kaya Dalindyebo, has he been removed, as well as we understand that there were attempts to remove Mandla Mandela as chief of Mvezo. Is that a certainty?
Good morning to you and good morning to the listeners. I think I must just reaffirm the position that we are taking these hurling insults against the president by His Majesty the King as quite unfortunate, and I think they are deplorable, to say the least. But be that as it may, I must just confirm that indeed the identification and the recognition of traditional leaders, including kings and queens and senior traditional leaders, are regulated in terms of the law. The Traditional Leadership Governance Framework Act number 41 of 2003. It's quite clear. There are stipulations that must be followed. For a king or a queen to be removed from office, there must be a valid grounds either for conviction of a sentence or imprisonment for more than 12 months without an option for fine, or there must be a physical incapacity or mental infirmity, which is based on acceptable medical evidence that makes it impossible for the king or queen to function as such. Or the third area will be the wrongful appointment or recognition. Upon such being the case, indeed, the appointment can be revoked. And the last area for consideration will be a transgression of a customary rule or a principle that warrants removal. Those are the four areas which are set out by Section 10 of this Act.
Now, in these two cases, what have been your findings? What are the recommendations? Yes. What action is being taken?
What we have received is a petition from other members of the royal family of the Abatembu, a matter that was referred to the Office of the Premier in the province, to myself, to the Minister nationally, that there are areas where the Abatembu are feeling that there are customary transgressions that are being undertaken by His Majesty in office. And they wanted those matters to be presented to government, for one, to be investigated, because there is a collusion, there is indignity, there is also lack of cohesion in the family of the Abatembu. And I think all those matters, the minister responded by assigning a DG to go and attend to those matters and facilitating a discussion within and amongst the Abatembu clan, so that the matters affecting that royal family can be discussed at that level in order to follow a proper procedure. But this is a matter that was curtailed because of the new unraveled kind of altercation that took place in the last Saturday's meeting, where the DG of the department was there, Professor Noila. And I believe that was the start of a journey to facilitate coexistence and understanding amongst traditional leaders at that level. But as of now, I can safely say the matter is still inconclusive, and that petition is not yet concluded.
A quick and final question, if you can, perhaps as briefly as you can, MEC, answer this question. There's a view by some that the Eastern Cape Local Government and Traditional Affairs Department is taking sides on this issue in view of the altercation between the two traditional leaders that you've mentioned. In other words, siding with Mandla Mandela. How do you respond to that?
No, it's completely not true. But what we know is that there is a manner in which to remove a traditional leader. It can be through a pronouncement or a radio announcement by also the king, because the royal family is supposed to be the one given an authority and power to identify. Only what the government does is to recognize what has been identified. Now, in this case, Mandla Mandela remains the bona fide traditional leader and the head of Mvezo Traditional Council, and therefore, by identification in terms of the customary law, remains as such.